evening. This is the Ohm Service.
And then put it on.
Good evening, and welcome and hello.
Mark, you might need to unmute us.
No, you're already unmuted. I kept it muted on purpose.
On a purpose?
Are you on purpose? Yes. Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome. Good evening, chat. Good evening, little bro. Good evening, Lethal Coils. Chrissy, how are you? Can't ya?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, guys. Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ohm Service Live. I'm doing just fantastic. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm all right. Yeah.
How about you, Aiden?
I'm absolutely wonderful. Just wondering why Bill Richards has left me out. He said, hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. Hi, Chris.
You're Huggles.
I'm Huggles. I'd like to be Huggles.
Yeah, you're
Huggles.
Aiden,
Aiden,
Honey.
So, how is everybody? Who we got in chat? Oh, we've got Vaping with TC. Okay, that's TC.
Okay, TC.
We've got Bill.
What's up,
Bill
Toad?
H. Claire.
TC.
Horseman Heating. I'm terrible for reading. I'm dyslexic completely. Reverend, good evening.
Horsome Heating.
Tim Barker, Rachel, Formidable Ruby. Vaping with we've got that one. We've got Mr. Dilligaff. Happy birthday.
Oh, this 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr.
Dilligaff.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, bro.
Oh, Kris. Big boy Coils. Oh, Bonnie.
The wonderful MBK.
Danny.
Oh, Shane Wiseman.
Danny.
Big boy builds. Big boy.
Oh, right.
Follow Max in as well. We've got Chris Doyle, who we absolutely love. He looks after us, all of us.
Chris,
nice to meet you, brother.
must
JP
ask you,
Ward.
did your mod come today? Did it come?
No, it came Tuesday. It came Tuesday morning, hand-delivered by the postmaster himself.
I'm not surprised you were threatening to kill the rest of them.
Not you. I'm on about little Chris.
They were terrified. No, I'm kidding. But no, he did. He brought it to me.
No, not you. Not you. Not you.
Not me.
Not you.
Oh,
Little
Chris Doyle.
Little Chris.
Chris Doyle.
It's not
yes.
all about you. It's not all about you, dude. We're talking about little Chris.
I think he said it was coming on Friday. I think he said he was going to get it.
So, right, now we could talk about Lethal Coil, Chris, and your parcel. Come on, tell us all about it.
No, we had to leave that live stream on Saturday. And he's like, the police are going to come. And I'm thinking it's like something like somebody's going to storm the house or something. He's like, the police are going to come and have to set everything all off. And then he left the actual microphone on.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, did you watch, hang on a minute before you go any further, Chris. When you watch the actual live show, he comes on, and obviously you couldn't hear him, and you just got this face, and he's angry. I'm really angry. And you
I was seeing red. I was seeing red. Actually, I thought the same thing, Aiden. I thought they were going to storm the house with like a SWAT team because the lady called me a terrorist. She called me a terrorist on the phone.
Really?
I was like, are you kidding me? And she's like, I'm on the phone with the police right now trying to find out how to deal with a terrorist threat. And I'm like, shit.
I never mentioned anthrax at one point.
Why is he buying nails and ball bearings?
Yeah. Sat there on his live stream going, can I have 12 bottles of bleach, please?
No,
just
but
have a
it
look
did.
at
It
his
came-
Amazon wish list.
Bail money. Please get me out of prison. Jules says, oh my God, Chris's face was scary. Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? It was so like
Yeah.
axe murderer. He was so like shit. You can see.
That's
this
why
just...
I scare the people around me when I get pissed like that.
About it, he come back, and he was like, his face was totally white, and he was like, you haven't brought me my package. Do you know what, as well, if anybody can do it, please cut it in, take it out, cut it in to somebody like, what's his name, who did that film, what's his name? Not my left foot, the other bloke.
What's my right foot?
I know where you live. I've got no money, but I will hunt you down. I will kill you.
Oh, what's he? Taken.
Taken.
Liam
yes.
Neeson.
Yep. Liam Neeson, yep.
Mate, Liam Neeson, yeah, mate, you were so cheese. And you didn't mute it either, so there's your poor wife going, look, what's the problem, what's the problem? And then you're going, they haven't delivered my package, but the police are on the way.
Brilliant. He just added to the show.
In retrospect, thanks.
All
Second
that
thought.
on a V-God
Hey,
clown.
BFG.
Yeah, all over a V-God. Well, it wasn't the fact that it was a V-God. It could have been a fucking $35 atomizer. I wouldn't give a shit. It was the fact that it was a gift.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off. But turns out, when they said it was delivered, it never was. Never got dropped in any mailbox. It was still on the damn truck. So,
Do you think he actually knew that it was something to do with vape device, or?
it wasn't. It was just because they had a substitute mail carrier that day.
Who couldn't read?
He just fucked it up. He just didn't know. But I don't understand why he told the lady that he put it in a mailbox when my wife drove up and down the street checking our neighbors' mailboxes to make sure that maybe he put it in the wrong one. And no, it was nowhere to be found. So, Chris, you should have told them it's only a bomb in the wrong hands. Hashtag Ohm's Law. That's right, sinner.
You sinner, you know better, mate. It's a bomb, son. It's a bomb.
It's a bomb. It's a bomb.
It's a bomb!
Just check his Amazon wish list.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Let's get some thermite going in here. Some plastic explosives. I mean, 1,000 pounds of railroad spikes.
Don't forget your clock, digital clocks as well. You need mobile phones.
Right? Yeah, you got to set a...
Don't forget your flux capacitor. We're going back in time.
The flux capacitor, Jesus Christ.
No, that's not what I said. A flux capacitor.
Capacitator.
Yeah, that's what you say when you've had like 6 bottles of vodka. No, I'm joking. I've only had 2.
You've only had 2. You've been celebrating today, haven't you, little bro?
Yeah, a good mate of mine. He's about 3 or 4 years actually older than me. He's just become a granddad. So we sat and had a couple of beers this afternoon, and he got to about 6, and I was like, shit, I'm on my bro's show. So it was a great big rush. Lou set the computer up. I had to stop off to get a couple more beers.
Well, I've got to, if anybody in chat hasn't seen it, or people watching the show hasn't seen it, please, please, please go over to Little Bro Vapes channel. He did a unboxing. I'll let you tell it a little bit better than I can, Aidan, but honestly, what a shit.
What it is basically a set of lads who I got into when we a set of lads when I got into. Honestly, I didn't do, but when we went into vaping and stuff, they sort of followed me, and they're into like the pop stuff, which is, you know, like that sort of stuff, and the wobbly heads.
Oh, the Funko dolls.
No, the Funko Pops. You know, like what Kris Empire has and stuff like that. And,
I've got Darth Vader over here.
Oh, I don't have the bobblehead ones.
I've got bobbleheads, I've got all sorts. And what it is basically a package got sent from America from Sexy Pants. Captain Sexy Pants, his name is. So it gets sent over, and it's gone all the way around the UK, Canada, and different places, and you open it up live on camera. So I said to Lou in the morning, I said, why don't you come on and do it? And Lou is the most, inch your marks, the most, she don't like anything like cameras or all that.
Oh, no. Very
And she went, yeah, go on then. So we had a couple of glasses of wine, and we just opened up this box. And it's absolutely been an internet sensation.
It's gone viral.
It's going viral. But yeah, no,
you might want some cream for that.
But please go over and check it out. Honestly, it's absolutely brilliant. These Aidan and Lou, obviously man and wife, and it is an absolute joy to watch. And honestly, I was giggling as well. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, good giggle.
So
we've actually thought about doing a little bit more like that. Even like a bit of a vlog together and maybe interview people just together. I
think you ought to, because honestly, it worked really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And people like that kind of stuff as well, don't they?
Yeah, so different on your channel.
Yep.
Totally. Right, Kris, I'll let you kick off to today's home service. What are you vaping on, kiddo?
Well, first up, what I've got going is the Mongrel V2 with the Dead Rabbit and Brass Butcher cap on top. I've also got, obviously, the new, the VGod Pro Mech with the VGod Elite RDA. I got to show this one quick because they're not allowed on YouTube. Okay, so that's the Suicide Queen and the Equitas on top there. Love that RDA, really do. Also, the Squid Industries Double Barrel 2.1 with the Hell Beast on top, as per the usual. 8 Cigar Wild Wolf 235 and FP. And last but not least, one of the weirdest mods I've ever used. And if you guys have used one, feel free to chime in on this. But this is the Inokin Lift Box, which is, it's a squonk, not a squonk. It uses a siphon system. So rather than, it uses a glass bottle, a glass tank in there that's completely unsqueezable, but it's got a post in there with holes in the post, both at the top and the bottom. So as you are drawing off of your RDA, it's supposed to suck it up into the wick, and just automatically.
How's it doing that?
How?
It's not. It doesn't do it automatically, I've found. So the design doesn't quite work the way it's advertised to work. Actually, it's like every 5 pulls or so, I actually got to put my fingers over the airflow holes and really suck on it and get that juice to come up. You can actually hear it.
That's what you said to the hobo, wasn't it?
For a bottle of booze. For a bottle of Jack.
You had to hold it and then slowly suck it up to get the juice, did you?
You got to put your fingers just like this on the tip.
This is going like last week's show. We haven't even got animals.
Oh man! All right. No more hobos in the alley for booze or a pack of smokes.
Yeah, go on. So yeah, you have to put your.
Yeah, it's to the point where I'm like, if I have to go through all that trouble, I would much rather just have a squonk bottle. You know, even the glass jar or the glass tank, you can see that. Let's see. There we go. It's got 3 adjustable like airflow kind of things into the tank of different size. So you can allow, it feels like it would almost be better with a mouth to lung type device. But because then you wouldn't have to like really pinch off the airflow holes and really try and do it that way. But I mean, overall it's okay, but I find that it's kind of self-defeating in the fact of how difficult it is to get it to really get the juice up to the wicks. But that's the last that I'm on with, and I've got the Profile RDA on top there with the 22 millimeter conversion cap.
Oh, let's have a look at that. I haven't seen the conversion cap.
Oh yeah.
Let's have a look.
Let's see. Come on.
All right.
There we go. It's got the same airflow. It just drops it down a little bit. It's got a little beauty ring down the bottom that does come off.
What does that increase it to? 25?
Yeah, I want to say 25.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 24. If it's 22, yeah, that's a 24 mil.
24 mil. And the benefits of having it?
Oh, the 22?
No.
I find a little bit better flavor out of it, just due to... Oh, did I put that battery in wrong? I did. Ha! Look at that. That's why it's not.
It's a bomb.
It's a bomb. No, it's actually completely... It is battery protected chipset with output 3 to 7 to 4.2 volts, full bypass.
Oh, so you can bypass it, so you can make it to a Mac then.
Yep.
Oh,
there you go.
It looks quite nice on the inside, but obviously
it really does. It's performance that it lacks.
Is
it looks like a really nice
is the performance because you've got to not chain vape it?
Yeah, I think so. But you see that switch? Listen to this.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And I'm not even pushing it in. I'm just moving it back and forth, rubbing it on my fingers. That's the only other thing is that switch is really loose.
Yeah, that's what you said to Hobo as well, isn't it?
He's got a fucking thing with hobos tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's got a thing for them hobos. I think he might be a little jelly.
I am. I'm very jelly. Yeah. We just get tramps here. We don't get hobos. Hobos sound more romantic, don't they?
Yeah.
Hobo.
When they say hobos, I always think about that dog.
Oh, the littlest hobo.
Yeah.
Lads, what's your favorite cheese?
I make a new friend.
Just take it on, we're going home, we're going home.
Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna settle down. Until tomorrow I get some...
I used to love that.
Yeah.
Oh, my
So, bro,
goodness.
what are you vaping on?
Not very
Hold
much.
on, I'm not done.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I got juice to go through, damn it.
Damn it. Sorry.
Well, I've only got 3 anyways. Army Man from One Hit Wonder E-Liquid, which is a beautiful key lime pie.
Oh, key lime pie.
Yeah, it's very nice. I got Jam Monster Strawberry.
They've started following me on Instagram.
Did they? Nice. I've also got, it says Funk Master Flakes, but that's just because this is the way the bottle came in the box with it. But this is actually Funk Master Berries. It's a strawberry frosted flakes.
That's proper steep, that, isn't it?
He did.
There must be a reason it was on the discount shelf.
Just shush me. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Who did? Me?
You just shush
I didn't shush. I said, I'm not done yet.
Shush me.
The first time.
I don't shush people.
I'd shush you.
I try not to. But that's the... oh, no, I lied. I do have one more juice. Thank you, Stevie Dilligaff Porter. I actually have some Mexican fried ice cream ripping on the V-God right now. And that one's really nice, too. But now I'm done. So, Aiden, what you vaping on, brother?
I've got loads of stuff, people. If you've been watching the shows I've been on, it's the same shiznit that I've got. It's just obviously when I came in, it was like 15 minutes ago. It was like a bit of a countdown clock. Oh! I'm loving this Triro kit or T-Row kit or Tyro kit. Really loving this. And in that I've got some of the Whizmix original Mental Asylum, which is really, really nice. It's zero nick, but I've been proper loving it. Nice little kit, this. It takes the Nautilus coils.
Ooh. Takes 3.
Pardon?
Takes 3 Nautilus coils.
It does in 3 months' time. Like one a month.
1 a month? That sounded like you said it takes 3.
No, it takes the Nautilus. I did probably slurred it. Do I look like I give it a joke? And then I've just done the 2 reviews, so these are coming out tomorrow and the day after, which is the or the Velo, or whichever you want to call it, J-Lo, shake your more ass on it, from V-Light. That's been done with the Preco new mouth to lung tank, which I'm really enjoying. And in that, I've got some Nicky salts from Dr. Salts, which is the blue ice, which is really, really nice. In this one, I have got the last bit of the grapefruit sunrise in the Cape, which is really nice. And then, lovely as normal, Jay has sent me the entire line again, which I've got there. I've now put all the nick in them and leaving it probably for about 10 to 14 days. Another big thing I want to let you know about this, I don't know if other people do this, which I wasn't quite sure that I've never done it before, which is, you know, when you put your nick in, stick it in a little bit of lukewarm water. Not obviously your nick, but actually your juice itself. Stick it in a bit of lukewarm water, stick your nick into it, and then give it a good old shake. It solidifies the actual VGPG and helps it mix up. Something that I've learnt. And that came from Les Pickering. Their pick with Les. And then we've got the Preco Plus. Again, the review just done for that. It's all ready to go tomorrow. The Preco Plus with a little bit of... Now, this is the other bottles that we used to get, which is the Raspberry Milk by the Rochford Project.
Oh, I like that raspberry milk.
If you have not gone out and got anything from the Rochford Project, I'm sure me and Mark, I know you haven't had any yet, Chris, but I'm telling you now, all this stuff is absolutely top notch. So get yourself out there and get some. And that's me roughly done, bro.
Right, well, I guess it's me, and I'm kind of on similar to what you've just said, Aidan. Obviously, I'm on the Preco kit, but I have got the Paradon RDA on top of that, which I think looks kind of cool, to be honest with you.
Looks good.
On that, I have got the Squid Ink Barb and Cuss. I've nearly finished that, polished that off. Also, I'm on the V-Light of Vowel 40 with the Preco MTL mouth to lung. Really enjoying it. It's a nice little kit, but yeah, we'll save that for next week. In there, I have double creased the nick in this one. This is Tea Time Treat from Nova Vapes. I've turned that into, it's just a little bit more than 12 mil nick now in this. So I've been using that because this is obviously a mouth to lung. Thoroughly been enjoying that. I've also got the Aquitas with the Ice Spider Mech using Wicklicker Carnival. Enjoying that one. Also got my double barrel V3 with the Drop Dead. In that one, I've got my homebrew lemon. And finally, but not least, I've got the Preco tank on top of the... I'm going to have to remember its name. It is the Rinco, Aidan? Rinco?
Yeah.
Rinco. This is the Manto X228 mod. Very similar to the Battlestar from Smoant. So that's what I am vaping on. So there you go. So before we go any further, has anyone got any news?
Anybody else? Chris?
Go ahead. You start.
I'll start, yeah. It was put across by a forum. I've just been looking at the forum. It's a new forum from Scotland, I think. A lot of us have been invited to. Is it AF something? AFB or something? The forum from Scotland. Now, they brought to light what is in a vape.com. Now, what you basically do is you go into this website and it tells you if you're 18, you go into it, and then you walk around this basement, and then it just basically slags off vaping.
Really?
Yep. You go in, you go to the computer, it tells you there's loads of like nickel and stuff going into your lungs, and then it's even got one point where you go to the television, it shows like worms going around your brain and stuff. That this is what vaping's doing to it.
That sounds like what the FDA was doing.
Well, somebody who's ever done this has actually spent a lot of money to have it. So it's like 360. You walk in this basement, you can actually move your phone around, and you can actually look around in the basement in different places. Tells you how bad vaping is.
Oh, so it's promoting itself as a vape group, and then it's actually not.
Well, no. The vape group that I'm on about is the AVB. They've just brought it to the attention.
Oh, right, I'm with you.
It's what'sinavape.com. The actual group, which is a really nice group, it's just popped up. The bloke's spending a lot of time putting stuff in. I'll tell you exactly in a minute. But yeah, but how bad's that? Has anybody else in chat seen this?
What toolkit home reader? All right, I'll catch you on 1 second, Bronco. I haven't seen it, but from what you're actually telling me, it sounds like the I'm sure not blowing smoke. It was still blowing smoke. That's it. The company that was doing the still blowing smoke did the ones with the worms in the brain for kids. I remember that one coming out about.
The actual site that's brought it, just to give him a big shout out, because he's invited all of us. You're on it as well, Mark and Kris. Associated Vaping Society from Glasgow. But yeah, in the poster that they've got here, it says some of the grossest things in bathrooms are in that vape. Vaping can expose your lungs to acrolein. I don't know what that is.
Acrolein?
Which can cause irreversible damage. It just seems to be some people are obviously again against vaping.
Sorry, I'm showing this to Bronco. He's asking what I use for my ohms.
It's pretty old that now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very old. I got that from round corner from you, didn't I?
Yeah, you got it from shop round corner from me.
But that's what I use.
You can vape on that as well, can't you?
Yeah, you can vape on it as well. Yeah, it's not a bad little device. So Bronco was asking, what ohms readers do you all use?
I've just got the one out of my kit. I ain't got it with me. Mine's just a very, very simple ohms reader.
Mine's the drag, the gene chip.
You use the drag. I've got the.
If I had a DNA, I would.
B-tab. That's what I use. I used to use the what you call them, Coilmaster tabs, but
the 521.
Yeah, but the after the second one packed in, I've not bought it anymore. So yeah, this been absolutely.
I don't trust those.
Really is really nice.
But people say not to use mods, don't they?
Yeah.
Even if you're using the DNA and all them other bits, they all say
DNAs are normally pretty accurate. I've got to admit, a DNA chip or a Yeehee chip, you're pretty sound.
I find that the gene chip is just like a step down from the DNAs and Yeehees.
One of the best ohms reader, I always wanted to get one, but never got my hands on it. Was is it called just the USA ohms reader?
USAOhmsmeters.com.
Yeah, they were by all accounts they were so accurate.
But they don't make them anymore.
They don't make them anymore. No. They used to do the small one, and if I might be wrong, I'm sure someone will correct me. If I remember rightly, they did the original tab version that Coilmaster copied, if I remember rightly. Oh. And the first time that I ever saw that, Mark Todd, he was using it, and that was ever before Coilmaster even thought about having a tab, and it was identical, but the only difference was the Coilmaster was black, and this one was like a white creamy colour, if I remember rightly. So yeah, that's what I use. Bronco, just thought I'd mention that. I've got a little bit of news. Just want to thank BFG for bringing it to our attention. This was from CNN about Hong Kong completely banning e-cigarettes. Completely. Yes.
Hong Kong, China.
Hong Kong, yes. Hong Kong, China.
The place that most mods are made.
Well, literally, it's just over the water from Shenzhen, so where the main...
that was actually quite a number of months back. That.
The interesting bit, though, I thought about reading the actual article, was there was not just including our e-cigarettes, but there was also going to include heat not burn as well. Now, whereabouts in the world is heat not burn most popular at the present moment? China, Hong Kong, around that area. I was quite surprised.
That was roughly around about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago that Hong Kong actually stopped it.
Well, it's just the CNN information was actually came out yesterday.
Yeah, it's to do with actually the party that's took over. Something like a communist-y type party that's took over there that they want to ban it all.
I mean, it's sort of like if you get caught, it's like a $6,000 fine. It's going to be.
Well, they're just putting people to prison for it as well, aren't
they? That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's absolutely crazy.
So, have you got any news, Chris? Anything interesting
actually,
over your neck of the pond?
I do. I actually just pulled up the article. I found this morning. I can't remember who it was that posted it. I think it might have been Vic, but I could be very wrong. But from hotair.com, you see an article says, good news. American Cancer Society sees cancers down as vaping is up, which is really nice. American Cancer Society has done its annual compilation of the numbers and announced that the incidence of certain types of cancer were down in 2018, and not just down by a little either. The biggest decreases have been among African Americans, who typically do worse than whites. Of specific interest are the lung cancer members, where significant progress has been made. So that is awesome. But I'll actually, I can put a link into the chat. So if anybody wants to check this out, feel free. But I thought this was absolutely...
We've all found that this is happening now, that the fact, and it is, well, it's whacking big pharmaceutical companies that not only are they losing money on patches, sprays and gums, they're now losing the fact of that people aren't getting cancer because of cigarettes.
Right.
So all these people who where it costs a couple of pence to make the tablets or the stuff that they've got to use, and not having to spend £7-8 on a packet or whatever else. It's now you sat down there, it's not happening so much.
I think what, on my point of view, I think the argument that there's no proof or no evidence that e-cigarettes are better for you and things like that, I think that argument is now actually waning, because let's face it. I mean, I've known about e-cigarettes. Well, I've been vaping nearly 8 years, so it's a 10-year at least studies that's been going off, and you've had people vaping for over 10 years now. So it's sort of like that saying, oh well, there's no long-term studies done. There is actually long-term studies now. I mean, 10 years, a minimum of 10 years now, of people actually vaping, and the health issues that have come to that. So,
well, I started vaping in 2006. I started off on a little pen light sort of stuff when I was gigging. But there was an interesting thing from DJLSB who came into our chat on the Sabs on Sunday. And he's been approached by a company or a health organisation to actually ask and monitor him about his long-term vaping. Obviously, us as reviewers vape probably more than the bog standard type of person who's vaping. I think we probably vape a little bit more. And I think it's somewhere where they should go a little bit further is come to us. Come to the people who are actually vaping all the time and do the tests. Instead of grabbing Joe Bloggs, who's probably done it for 6 months, and then grab somebody else who hasn't done it for 6 months. Get the people who are actually vaping. Now, one came out in 2016 where they'd had a number of people for maybe 5 or 6 years, and there was no difference between their lungs and somebody who hadn't been vaping.
I mean, totally. I mean, let's face it. The industry actually do listen to us reviewers, because that's why we've had so many RDAs, tanks, mods come out that have sort of like been influenced by reviewers. I think on the plus side of that, the health organisation should sort of like join us. And
if somebody sent you a message, bro, from NHS and said to you, look, you're a long time vapor, would you mind coming in and having tests done? Would you do it?
Me, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah.
Chris, would you?
Well, I've just had my MOT. We have a yearly MOT for where I work, and it's a compulsory thing. You get your height, your weight. They test your urine. Obviously, make sure you're not on any drugs or anything like that. And obviously, you have to have an eye test. You have an hearing test. You get headphones in, and you have little hearing sounds and that lot. And you also get a lung capacity test. And when I did my lung capacity test, now bear in mind I've been vaping 8 years. Prior to that, I was a full-time smoker. I've got above average lung capacity. So I was really, really pleased with that one.
What about you, Kris?
We're talking about the reviewer's impact.
Yeah, but would you know if they came to you if they came to you and said to you, right, will you come on the tests and have a little look, because obviously you vape a lot, would you be involved?
Absolutely. I think, like you said, I think they need to get a lot more of the quote unquote hobbyist vapors, the ones that do it more than others. If they were to get us in the test, and I think the results would be about the same, but do I think it would make much of a difference? Not in the end, not really. I think they'd still, at least here in the US, I think they'd still stick to their guns regardless of what the results show.
I think that's something that needs to be. We've said this for years, and it's about time that some massive health organisation came out and backed it and went, look, here is the studies. This is the truth. Stop listening to these politicians and listen to the right people. It's the same as the EU. Did you see that on a Monday night show with me and Simon? The EU, one bloke just come completely out in the EU, who was one of the presidents on health, and said that vaping is absolutely bad for you.
Really?
That was on Monday.
Oh, blooming hell. You see, the problem is, I mean, you've got people that are very influential, that have got an agenda, really, top and bottom of it, and they're quite happy to have poor science and even fake science rule the roost kind of thing. And there was a one done recently, I think it was in Thailand, if I remember rightly, and there was testing for particles in vapor, and by all accounts they did this paper and video and everything, and it was a complete and utter sham, but the Thai government believed what they was actually saying, so yeah, it was not good.
Hi,
Kris, when you went to school, when you did a science test, how did it work? How did you do a science test? What you did was you got all your stuff together, did the science bit, and then what you did it maybe 2 or 3 more times, so then you actually had a proper graph of how results were.
Yeah, ours was never hands-on. Ours was always written tests.
Well, we had to sit down there and literally do the test.
Yeah,
we had to say we was doing vaping.
We had to write out the process and answer a couple of questions, but other than that, we never got, like, we had hands-on during classes. We would, get our materials, get our thesis, and, kind of go through the proper process as we were learning. But when it came to exam time or testing, it was all written. We didn't have our hands on anything.
Yeah, but you'd done the actual work before it, hadn't you? You just said that, yeah. Right. So the way we did tests, like majority of people in our school, Mark did the same. What you'd do is just say you were testing, I don't know, how whatever to explode if you did it at this point, and you'd test maybe 3 or 4 times the same test. So then you had a set of results of where it was done quite a number of times. Now, we spoke about this before. They're getting like the old Clearamizer stuff, the C4s and stuff like that, sticking in, having 1,000 puffs off it, and you'd never have 1,000 puffs off one of them, would you?
Not really, no.
No.
There is within science, irrespective of what science it is from, it's an evolving thing. When you find out something, I mean, everything in science is actually a theory more than it is actual fact, because that fact is continuously changing, because you'll get 2 sets of scientists doing the exact same experiment completely the other side of the world. They will come to 2 different conclusions, and then they kind of fight it out between them. Then you get another one that redoes the tests, and then they fight it out, and then they come to sort of a some sort of agreement. And so when science papers are brought out, believe it or not, once they've been actually released, they actually can be out of date once they've just been released. Believe it or not,
I feel that,
it's an evolving thing continuously.
Yeah, but I feel that if you went out there and you went and got, say, a Nautilus coil on a Nautilus 2 tank, and you had a Coolfire 4, and you put exactly the same liquid in it, and you did the same test over, say, 4 or 5 tests, I don't care whether you were sat in Japan or whether you were sat in America, I would imagine you're still going to come within millibits to exactly the same as what you're going to get in any country.
Then you get what's called interpretation of the results. And it's kind of like us reviewing juice. We all three of us could have the exact same juice. No different. But we'll interpretate it slightly different. And that's how, this is where the debates come, and it gets really heavily involved.
I think we might have got each other wrong here. You're not going to get any different results, apart from obviously the coils are not exactly the same. You're not going to get any difference of what the output of different chemicals, and because this is what they're asking. So if you're looking for the same chemicals, it's not the same as like juice. If you're putting the same juice in there, the same actual coil, you're using the same atomizer, like I said, whether you're in US or anywhere else, you're still going to get within little bits of it exactly the same results. What my point was is, if you sat there using an old clearomizer with the wicks hanging down, and you're hitting 1,000 puffs off of that, which nobody would ever do, if you sat down there and you went into the lab and got a Nautilus coil, a Coolfire 4, did it exactly the same wattage, and used it for, say, 250 times like probably everybody else does, you will still get roughly within milliseconds of the exact same results, whether you're in America or whether you're not.
Controlled experiments.
In a controlled experiment, yes.
Yeah, but what you can't do then is you can't interpretate results differently.
This is where the problem lies. That's what does happen, though. Unfortunately, in a science paper, it's the interpretation, and then what happens is that might be exactly the same outcome of all, for argument's sake, it was 3 experiments. They'll come out with exactly milliseconds or whatever you want of each other. You'll then get a person reading these papers, and they will interpretate it how they see it. Now, depending on if you've got an agenda, for argument's sake, that you don't like e-cigarettes, and that is your agenda, you do not like them personally, depending on how you look at them results, depends on how you interpret it.
So what you're saying is that they'll pick out like one bit from it.
Yeah. And
it's
this
like
is
what
where
the FDA does here. They just nitpick. They cherry pick their information out of these articles to paint a negative picture of vaping. They're not reading and using the entire article that actually it goes entirely against the negative of vaping and focuses on the positive, but it's got to highlight the issues. So they cherry pick their information and use it as a anti-vaping campaign. So it's
like you can read articles. There's loads of out there. You can read articles and you can see how they give a positive about vaping, and then they will slide just underneath this if bit.
Yeah.
The wonderful if, and it's that shadow of a doubt bit that they love to incorporate into a article, and it's so like, this is how, and it gets diluted each time. So you'll have your scientific field looking at the actual data and everything is fact. Then you'll get your next level, and it carries on. And by the time it's got to your newspapers, they've seriously cherry-picked what that glossy bit is, and that's how it all alters.
Kris, again, I don't know if you find this, I know me and Mark do, whether it's to do with vaping, I think vaping at the minute is probably one of the biggest things to be able to show how our life and our world is going at the minute. If you look at the whole circle of vaping, it is helping people stop smoking, which is the whole fact of that we're getting people not having so much where they're getting cancer. All other health issues are getting pushed away. But, especially in your country now, they're seeing this is happening, but underneath it, there's that underlying of the corrupt we don't want this to happen. And surely us as people are now seeing that, hold on a minute, all of them are doing exactly the same. Do they think we're that daft, Kris?
Yeah, they do. They think we are that stupid. They feign ignorance. You know, they think that we're all just stupid. We're just going to follow what they say without second guessing it. And that's not the case with, you know, probably 75% of Americans. You know, everybody questions. You know, we're no stranger to, you know, conspiracy theories. We're not in any way ignorant of what they're doing. We all know full well, you know, it's just they like to play us as the fool, you know, and that's not the case at all.
Mark, do you think, you know, like years and years ago, we know from sort of like the pits and stuff like that, the miners were on strike a lot, not just in 1984, all the way down to 1800s, maybe a little bit more, about working conditions and stuff like that. Do you feel that now we've gone past like the 80s and stuff, nobody complains and nobody dares go out there and challenge the government on these sort of stuff?
They do, but not. I think the pitchforks and torches days have seriously gone, especially in this country, and I especially on the vaping, since I've seen how it's gone over the years, from the days of Dave Dawn and things like that. Everyone seems to be expecting somebody else to do something, and that's the way I feel it. Unfortunately, with our side of vaping, we saw like we are always preaching to the converted anyway, and I always find that the actual getting the information out correctly to the outside world, not us, is the hardest thing, and people just seem to be just lay down and accept whatever's going off, especially in this country. I always remember once there was a big, just prior to the TPD, there was a big call to action to go down to London and to be in front of Houses of Parliament for vaping. This was. And I think 40 people turned up. It was so like, it was a, yeah, it wasn't very, the mass. And it was so like, yeah, people are so like, me personally, I feel that so like, everyone's expecting, oh, he'll do it. You get me meaning? I know that might be.
Oh, yeah.
And especially in America, from our point of view, it's so like, it feels like you've got quite a few people shouting out about it, but no one's really.
Everybody's writing emails. Okay. They're not making phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing the bare minimum to slide by, and it's not enough. You know,
the point is that it's going to get to a point where, obviously, we're very lucky in the UK. But could change within a click of a. We're looking at this on Brexit, where a vote's been done, where we say, right, we want to come out, and they're doing their damnedest and the hardest. Whether you agree with coming out of Brexit or coming in or staying out, no, it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or you don't. The thing is once somebody's voted, then it's a vote. And I think it's the same sort of with vaping.
I think we've turned into a really... Everyone seems to be offended.
To Snowflake Society.
After the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, everyone's offended. Always sort of like that offends
Hashtag Snowflake Army.
Right, Aidan, I've got a question for you from Ericsson. What pod system did Little Bro Vape review with the lights on the bottom?
Lights on the bottom? Pod system? Let me have a think. With the lights on the bottom, I remember the lights on the top, which was actually the Preco, but that was the other Preco, which I've got somewhere on here, I think, unless my wife's moved it around. That was like sort of pod system. Can't think of another one that I did.
I also wanted to go back to something Ericsson said.
Evening vape.
They are saving the kids. Ban flavor, tax vaping 95%. I'm unsure about exactly what that statement means, but are you advocating that the U.S. government is doing things right? Because that's not the case.
Me personally, I don't think they're doing anything right, really.
No, I don't think so
either. I don't think they've done anything right for a lot of years.
Over here.
Hi Vic, love you loads, mate. If you haven't gone over, he has a political channel, and I do love listening to him rant and rave anyway, whether it's to do with political or vaping. He's absolutely a star to watch, as we all know. But what's it called? Centre Left?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, get over and check his channel on that. He's a very intelligent man on stuff like that, yeah. So, hi.
He's the one I go to. I ask him questions about advocacy and, you know, the direction that we should be taking. And you know, I'm only one person, but I try to take that advice and kind of organize something. You know, right now I'm still working on organizing a group of people to go down to the State House and advocate for vaping as well. I've said that before too, is what a lot of people here in the States don't realize is that it's not illegal. It is perfectly acceptable for you to walk up to your State House, walk into your state rep's office and request to talk to them. You know, it's not unheard of, and it's not against any rules or regulations. But a lot of people, like I said, have been focused on CASA, and where I applaud CASA for their efforts and what they do, it's not enough, because it's basically email based. It's email based. You know, it's write your emails. Nobody's calling their state reps. Nobody's going to their offices. Nobody's organizing, you know, get-togethers or sit-ins or rallies, anything.
Vic come up with a great thing about must be about what 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even 6. It was where all the people from the state the Senate and stuff was all getting re-voted in, and it was that time where it should have been lobbied, and they never actually lobbied it. They sort of like backed off from it and left it.
I mean, let's be right. Your lot are so crafty at what you do. You really are, because you'll hide legislation in with something else. You'll bang them together. There was one in California where they was doing offshore drilling, and they included outdoor vaping with it. And you could only have one vote. You could either vote yes or no, and they've joined them together. It's like, how can you do that?
It's like, shall we call babies at 2-year-old? You know, like, oh, shall we be able to vape indoors?
I mean, that idiot from Wales tried to do that. Welsh government other year. He tried to join, because he wanted vaping banned in public. And he joined it in with a legislation with tattooists, brothels, and all sorts, just to try and get his way so people couldn't vape outdoors. Right. And that fell on its face with Welsh government.
That's funny as well, because half the Welsh are in brothels. I meant I don't mean half the Welsh people. I want about half the Welsh MPs, because how many of them been caught in brothels?
That's right, Bonko. You were in Florida. That's right. I do apologise.
BFG had a good point. Very, very solid.
Coils, Florida, same sort of.
No. The one with the offshore drilling. I mean, it's crackers. How can you do that?
BFG had a good point. When it comes to CASA, where they're email-based, emails can be ignored. Emails can be thrown directly into the trash. Nobody wants to hear about that, you know, and that's absolute horseshit. The other thing I wanted to talk about was that you just made another statement about, you know, wanting to ban outdoor vaping. 2 towns over, done it. They've done it. There's no public vaping whatsoever. Not even walking down the street, nothing. Can't do it. It's bull.
But there's so many things in this world that needs changing. Why are they picking on vaping? So are they allowed to smoke outside though? Cigarettes?
No.
So they can't smoke cigarettes in the car.
Well, if you're on your own property, I'm assuming they can't do damn squat about it. But I don't know, because I don't live in that town. But I know that if you're on, you know, just public property.
I'm telling you, if they tried to do that in our country, I'd be sat down there. If I smoked with 20 Marlboro coming out of my arsehole doing fucking cartwheels, I'm telling you.
And the only reason I know that to be true is because I've got a friend whose boyfriend is a police officer in that town. And he has to enforce that law. It's crazy.
Are vehicles banned?
Yeah, you can't vape in your vehicle either.
No. Are vehicles banned?
No.
Why? Why
I know.
not?
They kill people. They kill people.
Well, the stuff that comes out the
Motorcycles.
exhaust is worse than what comes out of bloody your mouth when you're vaping. There's no
Yeah,
logic.
money is the only reason, Reverend. You're absolutely right.
I can totally appreciate. This is where I stand. I can totally appreciate you vaping in a restaurant. No, you shouldn't be allowed to vape in a restaurant. No. If you're in a public place, in a park or something like that, no, okay, that I can appreciate you not being able to vape in there. But outside, in the open air, with all the pollutants that's being thrown at you from vehicles and everything else.
Yeah.
And also, if you sort of like walk down a couple of steps between people and don't do it where they are, and I understand these massive cloud blowers who are doing it in the middle of, they annoy me. And I look at them and I think, I'm going to overtell you in a minute, where they blow loads of clouds in front of big crowds, and it's like, don't do it.
Yeah, but I mean, let's face it.
Not helping.
It's a gorgeous sunny day. You're sat in the park. You're sat on the bench watching life go by, having a vape. No, you can't. You can't have a vape because they banned it. How crazy is that?
It's nuts, man. It's nuts.
It really is. Honestly, it winds there.
Well, it's like we said. We've got our shit ass backwards. We've got everything that goes on over here is ass backwards. Completely. It's just ignorant.
I know we've said it about a lot of things in America. You can send a 16, 18-year-old over to fight in Afghanistan and other places, but the poor kid can't drink and he can't vape in a park.
Yep. Actually, I thought there was a vape. Yeah, there is. There's a Vape Foundation.
Yeah, there is. I found this out. Yeah.
Yeah, where they donate to not only veterans but to active service members too.
You watched the show when we eventually got it up on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, Nick was advocating that daily Vape TV was the fact that they are making or offering vapes to people who are out there serving for the US forces, which I think is absolutely fantastic.
I think that's amazing. I think it's awesome. I'm sure the FDA don't like that, but who cares? They're doing
it's the military, innit? I think they have a bit of a different.
Right. You're absolutely right, though, Aiden. If you're old enough and they're going to allow you to fight and die for your country, if vaping is going to kill you anyways, why not? Why not give it to them? Why not let them vape?
Honestly, I appreciate lots of things, and you've got to consider other people. I totally get that. I really do. But in the open air...
Yep. It dissipates really quickly. I mean, granted, I'll give it to the hobbyists, the mech users, the big cloud chasers. That's what it is. But I mean, to ban vaping entirely, like for some of these pen style kits where it's not blowing huge clouds, the sub-ohm tanks that don't blow huge clouds that just dissipate rather quickly. The cloud dissipates. The thing is,
though, you guys that voted for these people to represent you. You voted him in.
Not me. Not this guy.
You know what I mean, though? The people that live in that town voted him in.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as that, though, is it?
Never is.
It's not as simple as that. And you got to think, and a lot of them now, they've got loads of people who... We were all silly if we ever think that these politicians or the government actually own anything. The people who've got the money own everything. The people who own the land, the people who pay off all the governments. That's the reason why we're sat in the crap that we're in, whether it's the UK, Nigeria is one of the best places to look at. That's got a government, that does it, but it's all paid off by the people who've got the money. And America's not any different, and the United Kingdom's not any different. The people who go into power have no power really. It's all to do with people with big money. And if they say no, that means we're all going to pay for it.
Right. Red Fox, hello, and no, we're not talking about anybody.
It still winds me up.
Well, Horsham Heating, yes, they want to ban vaping, but they legalized marijuana.
Yeah.
Do you realize how long it took them to legalize marijuana? That fight has been going on for years. And only when they finally started to get it into their heads that they can monetize marijuana, when they can financially make money off of marijuana, that's when they decided to legalize it. When they actually thought about that. And it's going to be another fight like that. I guarantee vaping is going to be another fight like that. They're going to ban it. They're going to do everything they can to fight against it. And then once they get it in their heads that, oh my God, we can make money off of this, then they're going to legalize it.
See, the fact is marijuana can be used into a lot of medical situations.
Yep.
But obviously, somebody going out there and buying a 20 bag from a shop is not exactly medical marijuana, is it?
Well, no. It depends, because there are people that know people at grow facilities for medicinal marijuana dispensaries that can get their stuff directly from them under the table illegally, completely illegally, but they do get it from there. So you're right, it's not being sold legally as medicinal marijuana product, but it still has those properties. But again, when you're just walking up to some random Joe Schmo on the street and buying something off of him, do you really know what it even is? No.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're buying anything else apart from marijuana, but the thing about it is you could end up with a couple of tulip buds instead. I don't know, but I think you know yourself between what marijuana is and what marijuana isn't.
Funny thing.
Now, the trouble about marijuana is no different to alcohol. If you went out there and got a load of marijuana and smoked it all at once, you're going to get pretty damn ill.
You know what?
You're going to be really sick and eat a lot of Oreos.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, if you get if you go out there and get 2 bottles of vodka and down it all in one, you're going to get pretty sick as well. But you don't want the Oreos.
You definitely don't want the Oreos.
They're very kid.
The biscuits are available.
They're very child, just anti-youth vaping oriented, and what they don't think about is that kids in school are drinking. Kids in school are taking drugs. Kids in school are taking prescription pharmaceutical medications to feel high. And they don't see a problem with any of that because they're not targeting those areas at all.
This is nothing new.
I know. I know. It's aggravating.
Kids drinking, kids smoking, and kids taking drugs isn't new. And you've got to think vaping is new. It came out, 2004, 2000 when it first started out?
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Well, somewhere around that. So all this vaping thing and smoking thing is an absolute shower of poo-poo. Because the fact is, actual people who are smoking, kids, age, is coming down. They know people aren't doing it. And they're not vaping either.
No.
And so just because a few kids are picking up a Juul or picking something else up doesn't mean that there's a massive epidemic about it.
No, the epidemic was a problem created to fix a problem that was never there in the first place.
Well, maybe the problem was there. The problem was smoking. And these kids who are maybe vaping were going to smoke anyway.
Specifically talking about the epidemic. Yeah. The epidemic was a problem created to solve a problem that was never there. Like vaping is dangerous. You've
also got to think, if they did, and they're now trying to say vaping's a gateway to smoking. Well, no, they start vaping instead of smoking. Because if not, then they'd have smoked before they start vaping.
You know what I can't see? I can't see that. How are you going to vape on juice that tastes good and transfer that and just evolve into smoking? Something that tastes like absolute horseshit. Like, how does that compute in your brain? How do you see that happening? Because I don't. I mean, with something that tastes like some of the juices that I vape, if I was to started doing this, there's no way I would be transferring over to traditional tobacco.
Do you know what? It'd be absolutely fantastic if you could get that Scott Nobley, right, and got
Scott Nobley.
Our one and only Vic, vaping with Vic. If you got somebody like him, and then they did a video together. It'd be absolutely amazing. In fact, and I don't like to promote him or anything like that, but you can imagine that with JAs and people like that. If they sat down and give it Scott Gottlieb with the people like that. Right then, Scott Gottlieb.
I'd love to see him have a proper debate about it. I really would. I would like... You never will see it because of how they are. But I would like to see these people that are anti-vaping and the pro-vapers get together and have a proper debate about it. And let's sort it out for once and for all what the reasons are.
Right. Vaping Irish and Red Fox, you guys are both on point. There are so many advertised FDA-approved medications and drugs on the market with some horrifying side effects. Depression, death, fucking everything. But they want to ban this one helpful, minimal side effect.
I've got a Fire Stick, right? And I was watching a Fire Stick. You can get stuff from America and stuff like that. So I was watching the new Walking Dead while it was live. So then you get the adverts from America, and they were on about this drug, and I can't remember what this drug were about. I think it was something to do with obesity, or I'm not quite sure what it. Oh, diabetes, something like this. You can take this drug, and blah blah blah. It's going to make your life absolutely wonderful. And then all of a sudden, you had this bloke who was saying really serious stuff. This could cause you to go blind, your arse could fall out, your legs are going to fall off, and your toes are going to curl up.
Your ass could fall out.
But get this drug, because talk to your doctor and you might like this. And it's like, whoa, a minute. You just told me my arsehole's going to implant. I'm going to be eating.
Talk to your doctor to see
passage. I don't want this to happen to me.
Talk to your doctor to see if syphilexia is right for you.
Yeah.
Oh
what
my
the hell's
God.
happening? Talk to your mum just in case you want to sleep with the woman around the corner who's been with more men than a second-hand dartboard. It's like, no.
That's not always true, Tolomac. Antidepressants can make you chemically dependent, but not all of them.
Majority do.
Yeah.
And it also changes you.
We live in...
I mean, if it's
you've got to admit,
prescribed.
we do live in a crazy, crazy world now.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. What is the definition of what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable is so blurred now.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the mass social media, though? You see, when we were kids, you had a phone box with a phone book that nobody set on fire, and you didn't have a mobile phone, you didn't have all this social media. If you wanted to find out what was happening, it was Chinese whispers, and you went and knocked on your mate's door. That's what happened. You didn't sit around there with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and everybody going, do you know what Margaret did last week when she was pissed off? Never really happened.
It didn't, did it? And it's sort of like, you can find out exactly what's going off in Technicolor somewhere across the world. I mean, we have got a lot of smaller world than when we were kids. It's a hell of a lot smaller, and yeah, information is spread like wildfire.
You've got to think about it. Half the people now do a YouTube video when they want to slag people off. What we actually used to do, we used to go to Working Men's Club when they were sat there and annihilate them in front of 250 odd people. Go, you've been sleeping with my wife. Now they make a YouTube video about it.
Yeah,
they don't even talk about the other people.
Oh.
Tolomac, I've been on them my whole life, bro. I've been on antidepressants my whole life. Not all of them do. Not all of them. There are a good majority of them.
I suffered from bipolar since I was 19, and they've tried more drugs on me than soft mick, and I'm telling you now, it made me so poorly.
Yeah,
so poorly.
I definitely agree that the majority of antidepressants are, but not all of them. I've been on a few that...
Yeah, I can understand. And the thing is, if they work for you, they work for you.
Yeah, exactly. They affect people differently. Everybody's an individual. Everybody's unique. Their body system, my body system may reject drugs that are perfectly fine for you. And then the same in reverse, too. What doesn't work for you could work wonders for me.
I think a big, massive thing about depression and stuff like that is something that I learned in my life is that you have to realize when your body is telling you that the situation that you're in or how things are happening is that you're not dealing with it very well. And if you can actually talk to yourself and actually maybe it's very easy to say when you've learned it, to be able to learn the situations and deal with them. And sometimes my deal with them is to sleep. I sleep quite a lot because I get out of the situation. And it's anybody out there who's suffering from depression, or my brother included, and such as yourself, anybody out there, my heart goes out to you. It is one of the horriblest things in the entire world. And the other thing that I'd like to put out there, when anybody who's out there suffering from depression or anxiety as well, anxiety is one of the worst things in the world. That fight or flight, where you've got to get out of the way and it hits you so hard. And that bit where your brain doesn't quite work. You've got something to do, or you've got a situation to deal with and your brain can't do it, and it makes that fuzz, that big fuzz in your head, and it goes down to your belly. I understand where you are, and so all of us do. Get help, speak to people. That's the best way around it.
The best way I know how to describe that is absolute and total chaos, and there's like a million voices running through your head, and you can't pick any one of them out, and it just, it's such a horrible, horrible feeling.
And then you think, I'll tell you what, I'll do that in a bit. I'll do that in a bit. I'll sort this bit in a bit. And you never get to that bit because you're still trying to run through to get through it.
That right there is the reason why I haven't been releasing my review videos on time. Because I can't.
Big love, bro. Big love. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of us who are vapors as well. A family who are close to us. I know quite a number I could name who are in this stream now, all suffer from the same thing. But what we need to push across there is you're not on your own. We're all together. We're all in that family. My brother suffers from it absolutely amazingly, and he still goes to work every day, bro, don't you?
Yep. Oh,
awesome. Yeah. Here's Tolomac. I am on exactly the same thing, mirtazapine, 30 milligrams. I have to cut mine in half at night, but you're absolutely right. First thing in the morning, it's like being a zombie. But after, it's one of those things that's got to get in your system and level out. If it doesn't level out, that's not the right medication for you. But after you're on it for a few weeks, it's supposed to level out, and you're not going to feel that side effect after that. But some people, again, it does not work for. So it's going to continue to make you feel like that. But I'm on exactly the same medication. Anyways, guys, we're like almost quarter past.
Right, guys. I just want to say this before we say ta-ra to everyone. You two, thank you for that. That was probably the most heartfelt bit of information out there. And yeah, guys, if you do suffer... we're here. We are here. We're all available at some point, and if you ever need to talk, if you just need that natter, we are here, and we are here to help as well. There is also a charity here in the UK called Mind. I haven't got the link, but what I'll do is I'll get the link and I'll put it in the Facebook group. If someone has in chat got the Mind link, that would be awesome if you've got it. But yeah, we do have a charity. Is there a charity that in the United States that people can go to?
Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Awareness. So that is the one here in the US. One of the few that I know of anyways.
Right, I'm going to wrap this one up. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody in chat. Thank you so much. You've been absolutely amazing. Spanners, thank you for looking after chat as well. Aidan, Kris, thank you. It's been absolutely awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed this show. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass it to you, Aidan. I'll let you give your good shout outs as well, and then you can pass it to Kris.
Big shout out to everybody in chat. You make this show. You make things a little bit different, and thank you very much to all the spanners. Mark and Kris, you're a bunch of stars. I absolutely love you to bits. Like Mark said, and we need to make sure you push this around. You are not alone. You have had people here. Even if I don't know you're not on my Facebook or anything like that, message me and I am there for you. The same as Mark and Kris.
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, things are a little bit different in life that we don't always can control. You are there. You can sort it. Don't worry about it. We're all in the same boat. I'll pass it over to Kris.
Beautiful words there, Aidan. Thank you for those. As they've both already said, guys in chat, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been real nice and informative tonight, and we love having your comments and questions in there. Also, I want to give a shout out to Tolomac. Big love, buddy. It's great having that kind of debate going on. But know that I respect your opinion 100% wholeheartedly, and I love you, buddy. With that, guys, thank you for having me on. It's been a great pleasure and very, very interesting and intriguing discussion. Very, very well put together. So thank you, guys. I'm going to give you guys my final words of wisdom, and then we're going to peace out. So, guys, where's my Grammy? All right, there we go. So guys, please remember that we're the masters of our own destinies. We're the only ones in this world that can pick and choose how positive or negative our days will ever be. So please remember to keep the positivity high, keep the smiles on your faces, and let that negative just brush off your shoulders. Big love to you all. Reach out to us if any of you are ever having a rough time. We are here. We love you all. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next week on the Ohm Service Live.
Bye!
Kiss clap. Kiss clap. Kiss a dirty burger.
It's a dirty burger.